record. Okay. All right. So it's January the 18th, and this is our Ignite and Shine team call. Tonight, we're just going to talk about trying to get and stay organized and why that's important for this business. And for me, being organized is like important for everything, because if I don't write it down on one note instead of like the 15 that I currently have laying around, I'm very likely to forget or just not get it done. So a couple weeks ago, I was listening to the National Wake Up Call, and it was Melanie Mitro, and she said, when I first became a coach and was, deciding what I wanted out of this, I had to tell myself, I'm willing to do things that other people are not willing to do so that I can be successful and reach my goals. And as much of an emerald personality as I am about some things, being and staying organized is like not my strong suit. So this phrase or quote is important to me because I have to like make myself stay organized and do what I think other people don't do if I want to be successful at this, because staying organized just doesn't come as easily to me as maybe it does for other people. So over time, I have kind of created a system, and I'm going to share with you what I do, and then definitely open to hearing what anybody else does, or if you have tips, if you want to share, that would be great too. But staying organized is really important for several reasons. Number one, for me anyways, if I sit down to do my power hour or sit down for my business hours, if I don't know what I'm going to do, and if I don't have my hour or day or whatever planned out, I'm going to get on Facebook and I'm going to scroll, and I'm going to waste time because I'm not telling myself what to do. I'm just getting on the computer and looking for somebody to talk to or whatever. If you're organized, it will keep your business hours shorter, which means you have more time to be with your family or, do the things that are important to you. If you can sit down and hammer out a power hour and get some work done quickly and you're intentional about it, then there's less feeling at the end of the day of like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything. I got to scramble and do all these things. If you just sit down and do it and you're organized about it, then you're finished and you can move on with your day and be done. Like I said, it will keep you intentional, and staying organized will help you stay focused on your goals, because if you know what you're going to do every single day and you sit down to intentionally do those things, then you're focused on your goals and you know what you're working towards. And then obviously, as our non-negotiable every single month to get to Success Club 5, staying organized, doing the things in your power hour that we need to do will help you to that goal of Success Club 5. So moving on a little bit to what I do, I think before I really get into sharing details about that, it's important for you to understand that you need to come up with or figure out a routine that's going to work best for you. What I do might not suit you. I've tried Excel spreadsheets. I've tried a combination of paper and computer. I've tried a binder. I have found that I really like paper and pencil or paper and pen. Like, I just like to be able to write things out. But maybe you do better on computers. So whatever is better for you is what you need to do, but you need to be willing to kind of try to figure out some different things to help you stay organized. So for me, I use a clipboard, and I just have like little tabs that may be similar to what you would have in a binder. So my tabs are invites, follow-ups, my coaches, new people that I'm adding to my network, leads from Beachbody. I have a Cricut list, so people that I message or invite or talk to and they quit responding, I keep track of that, so that after some time goes by, I can reconnect with those people. And then my dream team. And then, of course, at the top of that, on the very top of my clipboard, is my weekly worksheet and the BAT. If you are a newer coach on this call, weekly worksheet is a document that you can use to keep track of the people that you're building relationships with, which is really important because that's what this business is really all about. You can keep track of who you're following up with for the week, who you're inviting or sharing this opportunity with. And then there's just like a little section for notes, and then a place to keep up with your challenge groups or groups that you're currently a part of. So it's just a really great place to keep your week organized. Again, it may not be something for everybody because it is paper. There is a version of this called Win the Day. If you're using the paper version, you'll also want to use a document that goes with it that's called the Business Activity Tracker. And we have an entire call on these two documents. I'm not going to get into all the details of them, but the Business Activity Tracker will help you keep track of and stay organized during your power hour. So when you sit down, again, you're not scrolling on Facebook, you know who you're talking to, you know who you're building relationships with, you know who you're inviting, who you're following up with. So you're just able to get it done and move on. Win the Day is a version of that that's like an Excel spreadsheet, and it's just all in one place. So if you're better on the computer and you don't necessarily want to write, then maybe that's what would be the best for you. And you can find Win the Day and the weekly business worksheet and the BAT in the file section of Ignite and Shine. And tomorrow, when I'm uploading this call, I'll go through the file section and maybe I'll just re-upload them so everything's kind of up at the top and it'll be easier for everybody to find. But aside from the business worksheets, the BAT, Win the Day, tracking your power hour, it's also really important to keep track of your follow-ups, who you're inviting, your leads. Again, if you're a newer coach and you don't understand what leads means, when you hit Success Club 5 or Success Club 10 every month, Beachbody gives us free customers. Success Club 5, you get a free customer. Success Club 10, you get the free customer and their commission. So when you are assigned or awarded or whatever word you want to use, these people, it's your job as their coach to contact them and reach out to them and let them know, that you're there to support them in their journey. So it's helpful if you have a list of those people, be it on a computer, be it paper, that you can, document who you've contacted and if you need to contact them again, because sometimes they don't reply. So it's really important to keep up with those people. And then, of course, your follow-ups. If somebody messages you back and says, now's really not the right time, for example, at Christmas time, because I'm trying to save money to buy my children Christmas, but will you follow up with me in the new year? Or maybe I can do it in a couple of months. For me, if I didn't write their name down on my follow-up sheet, there is no way in heck I'm going to remember to go back and invite them again or follow up with them, because I can't keep all of that straight in my brain. So again, I have a separate sheet that's just follow-ups, and it's got 2 columns. I'm trying to find it. So I have their name, and then I have a section over here where I'll jot down a little note, like if they said follow up with me in January, then I'll put that, or whatever their reason for not being ready or whatever. I'll just make a little note so when I go back to follow up with them, I don't have to scroll back through my whole message thread. I know the gist of what I need to say to follow up with them. So kind of time consuming, I guess, in the moment to make that little note and keep up with it that way, but in the long run, it's so much easier. So again, I will, sorry, I have a frog in my throat, upload the documents that I've created just for me, my little notes. I'll upload those as well in case anybody wants to use them. So aside from tracking what you're doing every single day in your power hour, it's also important to know, kind of have an overview of what your month is going to look like. So for me, I use it's like a big desk calendar, but I have it on the wall. That's what Megan does. I definitely borrowed that idea. So I can see my entire month I know when our challenge groups are starting. I know that if our challenge group starts, prep week starts January the 29th or prep weekend, then if I'm not already, definitely if I'm not already at Success Club 5 or 10, the week before that, I know I need to be inviting to that challenge group. So it just helps me stay organized as to what my week is going to look like if I know what my whole month looks like. Does that make sense? I know because we're running these free groups every single month, and they require that we start an event 2 weeks before the free group starts. If I don't have a visual of when the free group starts, I will forget to start my event. So just having the whole month kind of mapped out is very helpful for me. If you have time on the weekends and I like to do this on Sunday nights, I'll plan out my weekly business worksheet, meaning I know who I'm going to be talking to for the whole week. I'll go through my list, go through Facebook, go through my like page, and determine who I'm going to be building relationships with. And I have that planned out. I know who I'm inviting, and I know who I need to follow up with. So when I sit down to work, it's already, that part's done. But I also try to plan out a couple, if not one, for every day Facebook post. Specifically, the middle of the day for me is really hard to find the time to come up with a post that's not just like today when I was grocery shopping and I took a picture of my groceries that probably nobody cared about. So if I have at least one post a day that I've already planned out, that really makes my week go easier, and it helps me stay present on Facebook. And it just goes back to being organized of whether or not I'm actually going to get that done on Sundays or not. And then the last thing that I feel like I probably could have done so much better of a job in 2015, and it's a goal, and it's something I'm doing better at for 2016. But that is to stay organized and keep track of my challengers better. And it's almost like shameful for me to even say that out loud, because that's what we're about, is helping people. Yet I feel like I didn't keep track of them and their goals and stay organized with them as well as I could have in 2015. So my plan for that for this year is every time I have somebody sign up and order a challenge pack, I write their name down. And by the time they order, I basically already know their main goals, so I'll jot that down. And then as I'm talking to them more leading up to the challenge group and during the challenge group, I'm just constantly making notes about what they want out of this, what maybe their struggles are, or what do they think could hold them back during the week because they're busy, or they have 2 kids, or they work full time, or whatever. Just on paper, a way for me to stay more organized and understand and know my challengers better so that they have a better outcome and get more out of this, and I don't let them fall between the cracks. Another thought for that is like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever days of the week you want to do it, keep track of it and send your challengers a personal message outside of just contacting or communicating with them within the challenge group. Obviously, our challenge groups are very important, but if you stay organized and stay on top of talking to them personally, that will make a big difference for their success, and I think the way we feel about what we're doing also. So I know I flew through that really quickly. I always talk fast, I feel like. But what questions can I answer for y'all?
Morgan, with your Challenger tracker, do you have a certain document that you're using for that, or you're just like using a notebook? Or
right now, I just have it on a blank piece of paper.
Okay.
Because I have not created one yet, but I will because I need to.
Okay. That's a really good idea.
And then I also had this other document that obviously I quit using a couple months ago because now I can't find it, but I'll post it as well. It's like it's just a piece of paper and it has 4 squares, and it says free group, challenge group, Sneak Peek, and 5-Day Shakeology, which we're not really doing those as often anymore. But anyways, it was just a simple document to jot down your names of your challengers, just as a visual, maybe to prompt you to remind you who's in what group. So I'll add that too.
I've got, I use Win the Day. I really like the Excel sheet, I always have, and I've added some tabs. And what I did, how there's already that tab that says new challengers?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I keep track of my current people. Still, I put their name and what group they're in. But I made this thing called old challengers / coaches, because I have a lot of discount coaches who are really like challengers essentially still in a way. And so I made that separate tab, and I find that convenient. And in the first tab where it's like it says your weekly checklist, like I still use that, and I modified it. And so I do things like on Monday, I always check in on my team page for my Grit Grind Glow team. And then I used to do fire starter check-ins with Megan like every Friday. And then on Sundays, I would check in with all my challengers that were in the current group. So I kind of broke it down by day, and that's kind of what worked for me. But I don't know. I'm computer minded, and that's kind of where it is. But you could print that out and do it that way too.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have a master of your version of Win the Day that doesn't have anything typed into it?
I can make one. You mean like how I modified it a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can make one.
If you have time, I just think it would be really helpful if we had, the regular Win the Day, Taryn's Win the Day, weekly worksheet, BAT, all these different options. Because literally it took me 18 minutes to figure out how I wanted to be organized.
Yeah,
it took me options
too. It took me a long time too. Like I added the quick hits sheet, but I don't use some of those tabs in Win the Day. Like I don't even remember, like add friends. I just put them in my add value. I don't have like that separate tab for whatever else.
That's smart. Because you're going to add value to them anyways. Or build relationships with them. Anybody else? All right. Well, do y'all have any questions about anything not pertaining to organization or thoughts about anything?
Morgan, how did you feel that your free group did this month?
I had more participants initially than I've had yet, but I only had 7 people give me results. But 2 of them, one has already, and I'm pretty sure another one's going to order a challenge pack, and that is the first time I've actually converted anybody.
Yay!
Yeah,
that's good.
So I feel like I ended up with less people in the group, but they were a little bit more motivated.
Yeah, that's good.
What about yours?
It was, I don't know, the participation wasn't as great this month. And I don't know if it's like I didn't do anything differently, but maybe it's just like, I don't know, first of the year, like people, I don't know. It was good, but it just wasn't as good as the others have been.
Yeah.
But there's going to be months like that.
Yeah. I think with the free groups that we're doing like this, I think the key is to just keep doing it. And like this time, I really didn't want to because we were coming back from South Carolina and I was like, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I think staying consistent with it will.
Right. I think the videos really helped too. I only did one this past time. And I don't know, I just feel like they connect with you better when you do that. So maybe that's where I messed up. But
That's a good point. And I remade one of my videos this time because the first time I talked about the menu, and obviously we changed the menu. So I had to remake that one. But the other one, and I think all of Megan's videos, we've used the same ones every time. So if you didn't share videos because you were like, oh, I don't want to make them again, I would reuse the same one so you have less to do.
Yeah.
Because I have found too that the people that are like continually in these groups, because we've done 3 so far, and I've had a couple or 3 women who tell me no about the 30-day challenge group every single time they join, but they see success in the 5-day group. I just don't think they're so. Anyways, I don't worry about if they think, oh my gosh, she shares the same video every single time. I just
right. Yeah. Kirby, we'll go over all this stuff more in the new coach group. Sorry if you're lost. I'm sorry.
I had a quick question. Can somebody hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm new to this thing. I just had a quick question. Like the challenge groups, is that something y'all are required to do every month as a coach?
The 30-day one or the 5-day one? Or any of them?
Any of them.
Okay. They're not required, I wouldn't say. Bye, Taryn. I think, like, if as you're growing and working and helping people, if you have challengers, then you want them to be in a challenge group. So you will want to have them in there. And like the 5-day would be a really great way for you to get started as a new coach. Reaching out to new people and learning to get comfortable running a challenge group on your own, because it's just 5 days and it's free and there's not a lot of pressure. But but they're not required. They're just helpful to your challengers. And then again, the 5-day. The 5 days kind of involved. So if any of you guys who are new decide you want to run one of those, Lauren and I and whoever your upline is can help you get started with that. But again, I think that would be a good way to get comfortable doing it and meet some people, get yourself out there a little bit.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, I'm gonna stop recording. We'll get off here shortly.